Yeah.
I hope, is there a camera on this? Because this is gonna be great.
It pans the whole room, it goes through when it's talking, so you're okay.
But when it comes to me, it's,
okay. But that's what Heidi pointed out when she was on there, she's like, I can't hear, so.
You can hear some, but not all of you guys.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
When I was remote, I struggled a lot.
So pretty much evil, I guess, I don't know what else to tell you. It's hard to tell at the station, I mean, you gotta use the microphone to hear you, so.
I made sure everybody's lit up before we started, so. I think they probably. Not yet, that's yours.
Holly, are you leaving tomorrow?
I am.
So we'll get a short clip before you. Leave tonight.
Did you hurt your finger again? Oh, I'm sorry.
You did? You poor thing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And it's, no, well, that was one you struggled with before, so it's the same deal.
It might be a blessing in disguise. That's what I'm hoping.
Good attitude.
This new specialist.
Oh, there it is.
Take
Where's
it
the
that
flag?
20 steps forward.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Commissioner Bueller,
Here.
Commissioner Day,
Here.
Commissioner Hewitt. Okay. Commissioner Rubes. Here. Commissioner Robertson. Here. Commissioner Speaka.
Here?
Commissioner Terry.
Here. Okay, the minutes from March 3rd.
I have corrections.
I have corrections too, but I can just spell and stuff.
Oh, corrections too. They're like teeny tiny. so
Yeah,
I'm
there
sure
wasn't
they're-
very many yet. So, all those in favor of the minutes, with those corrections, please raise your right hand. No, we didn't need to do that, did we? Always get that in the consent agenda. Well, you know what, we approved those minutes. Okay, no courtesies, no proclamations, board and commission reports. Danny.
All right. The library did meet on March 6th. Let me see where we're at. The library is starting to prep for the summer reading program, and so that means thinking about seasonal work as well as the programs and all that fun, and so the library is working hard on that. Along with that, Alyssa was able to secure a Stanford University intern who will be coming to Lewistown for 9 weeks starting in July, and they'll be working at the library. It's very exciting. It's not going to cost the library anything, but it is going to be a very interesting 9 weeks for this individual, and we're excited for them to be here. We have quite a bit of updates happening within our youth collection. We're making sure that the materials are up to date and good to go. The story walk has been very well received. They're going to have to think about the depth of snow and how often they can change it in the winter.
Timing is everything.
Timing is everything. So that may not change as frequently in the winter, but they're excited to see how that grows throughout the summer. And and Alyssa has been working also on updating our website, as that is something that will need to be done here pretty soon. So those things are happening, and we will be meeting again this Thursday, so March 20th at 1 p.m. in the library building. That's the library currently. The MOU will also be discussed here with the city shortly, so expect that, talking about communication and partnership. MOUs.
Commissioner Speaka?
Yeah, I do have now Snowy Mountain Board minutes from February 20th. And there wasn't really a ton real relevant to us. Danny was announced as a new employee, which is pretty dang
Work there
cool.
part-time.
And yeah, other than that, talked about, legislative issues relevant to the group and typical financial review, some efforts they've been doing in promoting different businesses, but really nothing that would drive any decision making here. So it's pretty standard board meeting.
Commissioner Day?
What date did you say you met?
February 20th.
Thank you.
Yes.
Sorry,
So I actually have 3 reports, but I wanted to make sure everybody got the email from the Friends of the Trail regarding the park and tree updates for the maintenance that has been done over the last year.
I didn't get.
I don't remember that.
I'll forward mine, maybe yesterday or the day
I think it just came out today.
today. Okay. So you think it got to everybody? It looked like it went to all the commissioners.
No, it would have only went to anybody that has, probably attended them.
Okay, I'll forward that, because I thought it was really interesting. And then, the Friends of the Trail has asked if I could specifically ask where we're at with the flashing.
So right now I have gotten, or at least am trying to get quotes for the installation of by contractors for the other sets. So there's 2 sets. And then the 3rd set is still, with the First Avenue project contractor, which is Riverside. And so I have not had confirmation from the state that they will be, doing that work. But over the winter, we've been working on it. So that project is supposed to be concluded by June. And so, but we've met with them, they know what we have, they've written a spec. So I'm assuming that that means it'll be included as a project cost.
Is that something that, like, Kelly Henderson communicates to them?
Yes, and Kelly has all of those updates. So
Okay.
she
So they-
asked me to provide an update, and I emailed that to her.
Okay, so they should know.
They will have all of that.
Okay.
Yep, at their next meeting. It was after their meeting that they asked the question.
Okay, and then I also attended the most recent Lewistown Downtown Association meeting, and they have their quarterly annual. And there is so much information that I just copied it for everybody, so you can read that at your leisure. There's a lot of fun stuff, but there's a lot of stuff on there, but,
Oh, this one?
yeah, so just to save time, I just.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, it's a good one for our downtown association. And then as far as the Park and Rec Board, we did meet on March 5th at the Civic Center. And then just some brief things to note that may be of interest is, the Little Eagle basketball was kicked off at the beginning of March, and all programs are in full gear, but they will be wrapped up rather quickly for the end of March, because the gymnasium floor is scheduled to be fully replaced at the beginning of April. So workers and crews have been finalized for that. Yeah, the whole gym floor will be replaced completely. And how long will that take?
8 weeks.
About
It's in
8
my
weeks.
report. I'll touch
Oh,
on it.
perfect, okay, I'll skip that then.
Wasn't it
We had discussion of the 2025 capital improvement project list. The Civic Center is requesting to have the weight and the cardio room remodel project to be moved up. The Civic Center is also in need of security cameras and wanted that brought onto the capital improvement list. Bill Berg gave a report on the ice rink. It was a great season, although it was very short. I thought this was kind of cool. They usually get about 110 days of use, but this year they saw 66 days of skate time. The rink needs a covering so the season can be extended, and they receive donations, and donations that come in are put forward into that roof funding, and a process has already begun for design. Pool rates and summer staff rates need reviewing. A pool manager is needed for the upcoming season, and discussion needs to be held on what is needed for wage increases. Friends of the Pool have purchased pool tarps, and one large robotic vacuum will be purchased. And Friends of the Pool are also looking into grants to do more. As far as trees and parks, the summer staff for department maintenance crew is gearing up. There's an advisory tree board, and they have some ideas for schools to assist with the upcoming Arbor Day and tree planting. And Northwestern Energy has volunteered to use their day of service to assist the Park and Rec Department. They would like to help with trail cleanup, maintenance, or anything that needs to be done within the department. That's pretty much the highlights that
It's a lot of highlights.
so. And that's
So we'll
all I
move
have
back to the
between
floor.
the three.
Okay.
Commissioner Roots?
Nothing.
Commissioner Hewitt, do you have anything to report?
Yes. Yes, I do. The vehicles and equipment maintenance, the Idaho Norland blower is still down. The big plow needed a new alternator. The Bobcat, a new door shock. And both plows have been hour serviced and are running well. The small plow needs a new joystick and blades. Well, that isn't pertinent. The wildlife fence is going to need some major repair. If they can stretch it, then we won't have to replace it, but the snow load has pulled it down, and we will be looking at that. The Montana Aeronautics awarded a match for our taxiway project and loans for the big hangar door. We have about $200,000 in the grant, which is great. The water sewer is about 100 yards from the terminal. And the land, all right, well, I can't, maybe Tim can expound on that one. First, the reason that we do not plow personal taxiways for the hangars, but the runways are always plowed because of life flight. And also on the snow plowing, we need to put the snow on the east side of the Jack's hangar instead of the west side. Other than that, I think everything is pretty well. We're just running along quite smoothly, actually.
Diana, we had Brian come and speak at Rotary last week, and he did a really good job talking about the airport and stuff, so.
Oh, that's good.
he did
Yeah,
really good.
okay. So he probably,
Did we lose her?
Maybe muted.
I just wanted to tell her that because he did a great job. All right. Or maybe she.
She can hear, I think.
Okay. All right, thanks, Diana.
yeah,
Commissioner Robertson?
I do have a report for you. The
Snowstorm Reaction Committee, I don't know what the name is. Did meet last week, Thursday, at Civic Center. We did a showing, I wouldn't call it a strong showing. Holly, Chief Janice, myself, two people from Watershed Council, and a citizen showed up. So we had a marginal showing. But we didn't publicize it because we were just trying to start our kind of organizational structure and do a kind of an after action report of what happened. So we talked about the chronology of the big storm on January 10th that started all of our challenges, and developed and why it developed the way it did. We talked about the city's equipment and personnel and how they attacked this storm and would attack a future storm. We talked about, and Chief Janice talked a lot about the city, the travel challenges within and around the city and what happened and what they encountered and what made that easier and harder. And we talked about some of the public enforcement challenges that exist within the city. Those include not having towing services, ticketing enforcement, balance between people in, and whether when they write tickets, they get dismissed. Apparently right now everything's dismissed. And then I would say that Chief Janice said that black and white regarding code enforcement is easier. So if they're clear on what they are and are not to enforce and what will be held up in court or not is really important. The last thing we talked about was potentially developing some ideas for going forward at different levels of maybe assertiveness, service, and maybe we have 4 or 5 different options or levels of service with the associated costs and impacts on the citizenry, and talk about it as a commission at a future date. Lastly, we set a meeting for April 10th, again at the Civic Center. We were not necessarily looking to have a big public hearing on it kind of thing. It's more of a working group meeting. Certainly anyone's welcome to attend. It's a public meeting. But we're not looking to stir a pot as much as try to find some answers and come up with some potential ideas to bring to the commission and then to the citizenry about where we go from here in future big storms. 3 o'clock? 10 a.m. On April 10th.
10 at 10.
Yep. That's my report. I can answer any questions you might have now or later.
Nope, Kim did a great job reporting on that.
Tim, did you have anything to say on the airport? She said something, Diana had said something about you expounding on something. Is there anything you'd like to add to that? I can't remember.
No, there's a lot of discussion right now. I would say that Lewistown is, in a positive way, the target of a lot of FAA dollars to get a bunch of our taxiways completed, which are in need of rehab, I guess I'll call it. And so fortunately, the FAA has decided that we are an important place to put their discretionary funding in the region. The challenge is we need a local match to that. And so they may be able to come up with a lot of money for us to finish all the work that needs to be done. We need to come up with that 5% challenge. So could be the challenge for the whole thing.
Thank you. Okay, city manager report. My report is that on March 25th at 2 p.m. is the Central Montana Foundation meeting. And also, I just wanted to make sure everybody got there was some emails that had come through from Ann Tews with the Big Spring Watershed Council on their meetings, and also, they opened up some other special meetings that they're having, one with VACCOM and one, on rain barrels. So just to make sure that your guys are getting those emails on, yeah, from the Watershed Council too, so.
You've done, I have it.
Okay.
I'd like to get back, I did attend one of their meetings, the
Okay.
last meeting. Were you done? I didn't need to know.
No, that's fine, I just wanna make sure people are getting their emails.
Yeah, I did attend the last meeting. I listened carefully to what was said. I probably spoke a little more than I should have spoken, but I tried to give them some perspectives on, some of the topics discussed and challenges we've discussed. You know, an example is snow piling and where snow is piled, and the obvious challenge of the hauls for snow moving to other places already cost us $400,000 or more this year, and we're to find other solutions to address the potential cost of moving snow other places. One example, but I appreciate sitting in on their meeting. It's good.
Thank you. Right, now Holly, city manager report.
Yes. So with the warmer temperatures, Public Works has been able to start, getting a jump on the spring and summer work. They're out there sweeping. We also are gearing up for the construction projects that we've got going on. One of the ones that I know, the Trails Committee also asked about was the water to the Turner Center. So Kelly got an update on that. But the contractor plans on doing that probably prior to starting our project, which they plan on starting the phase 2 of the water improvement project after Easter. So like, I think right after, so maybe of April, starting on that. And then the wastewater project also, they've started to order products and things like that. So that'll kick off very soon too. I did finalize the purchase offer for the Berg lumber property, and have renewed our discussion on the development agreement. And so it does say, that the development agreement must be mutually agreed upon, basically is what it says. The rules of procedure and additional training, Nikki did do some research and was able to register the group of us, for a Robert's Rules Made Simple, I think is the company, so I think it's the same one Tim may have already done. But we can all participate and learn at our own speed. So she'll be sending out some information as far as your login and stuff there. Also as part of the Montana Main Street program, this last month, Ashley Kent with the local government center was there and did a quick presentation on Montana open meeting laws. And so I didn't get her whole presentation, but one of the flyers she had just kind of summarized, you know, the constitutional rights, which is in section 2 of the Montana Constitution. Section 8 is the right to participate. Section 9 is the right to know and observe. And then section 10 addresses the right to privacy. So I know you guys, if you have nothing better to do, wouldn't mind reading a little constitution. But there is that out there. I will try and get a copy of the recording or her slide deck and send that out as well. So election season will be upon us before we know it. We do have 4 open positions that will be up for election this year. And those timelines will be quickly coming up. So the filing opens April 17th and closes June 16th in the municipal election. So,
And just to confirm, we have Ward,
all of the wards plus you.
Yeah.
So it's Tim, Ron, Kellyanne, and Katie.
I just want to make sure everybody knows. So it's Ward 2, Ward 3, which, you're Ward 2 or Ward 1?
1.
Okay, so Ward 1, Ward 2, Ward 3, and then my position 2. So just get that out there to the public. So they know.
Spring is always training season around here, so we've got lots of staff out. There also is opportunities for you guys to do training. With the Clerks Institute, they have the elected official training. If somebody wants more detail or would like to attend, feel free to reach out to myself or Nikki on that. And if there are specific trainings you guys would like to hear more or see more of, let us know and we'll try and get it here or find out where they're doing that. As Lorraine said, winter activities at the Civic Center are coming to a close. We did expedite some of that because we had known that this floor thing may be coming up. And so Little Eagles is finishing up this month. The spring soccer program will be starting soon. Baseball signups already happened. And we are also advertising for pool staff and gearing up for our seasonal workers. Beginning April 1st, the gym will be closed. They're advertising 8 weeks and it will be closed. Fergus Federal Credit Union was a sponsor. They did a huge donation. We're excited to see, we did meet with the contractor and are excited to see what happens with the new gym floor.
So I have okay, so the gym floor was recently resurfaced, like in the past.
Refinished, sanded down and refinished.
And they've
This
done
is-
that like every other year?
We
No.
reseal it every year, do
Okay.
several
I was
coats
gonna say, I knew
of
something was
sealer
done to it.
and wax, basically.
But it was recently sanded in the last maybe 5 years, 3 years.
Oh,
Yeah, 5 or 6 years, I
Yes.
would guess, yeah.
Okay,
And so at that time, it was
Really?
determined to not be sanded down again.
mm-hmm,
And, and they have problems with the nails and some splitting structural members and stuff in some of the wood. And so, the credit union was aware of that. And so, they were looking at doing some charitable gifting, and did some in the school gyms around the area and wanted to do something in the Civic Center, knowing that it's such a key part of recreation and sports in our community. And so they looked at the contractor, they did some bore samples to find out, kind of what I think they first looked at refinishing and making it a usable surface. And then they determined it was really a replacement.
so it's an entirely new floor this time.
They're pulling out everything, doing subfloor and laying new maple floor. Yeah.
Just an idea, I wonder if anyone would be interested in like, cause I'm a nerd, would anyone wanna purchase like a little section of it?
So
Could
they
you
will
do-
be
I purchased
salvaging the
bleachers.
board.
Back when they pulled the old bleachers out, I purchased bleacher boards.
Yeah, so I'm
As
just wondering
well.
as a fundraiser, if that's something, if you could,
The contractor has salvage rights on them, but you can purchase it. We have requested the home of the wit, the stained
That's what I
home of
was-
the wit
yeah.
that's in front of the door. It'll actually go up on the wall. So
Oh,
that will stick around.
Cool.
right?
It's not dumb, he knows there's a market.
Yeah, there is a market.
Who is the contractor, do you know?
Steve Lallum and High Performance Floors, I believe is his company name.
I
Is
suppose
that-
it probably has to be somebody special, a specialty.
It's specialized, and I'm guessing he's a customer of the credit union too.
Ollie,
Yes,
and then how you plan to replace?
the entire gym floor will be replaced,
Okay.
yep.
Amazing.
It's a wonderful gift.
And what will it say now? Home of the what?
It needs to be a home
It'll
first.
be Lewistown Civic Center. There will be a logo of the credit union on there. That's all they ask for in turn.
That's fair.
And then last but not least, I'll be out of town March 18th through the 24th. As always, I'm available by phone or email if you really need me. Thank you.
Any questions for Holly? Public comment on non-agenda items. Is there any public comment? Okay. Is there anybody needs to follow the consent agenda? Anybody have any questions?
Page 7, number 5, 6, 7, 35, and 36. Would be each.
So those are our annual permits. We pay annual permits. The first one is the wastewater plant itself, and the second one is our stormwater permit. We have two. No, it's actually the one drain that's inside the plant. It's an industrial stormwater permit.
Okay. And then page 13, please. Number 56717.
The Viking painting, is that the one you're?
Yeah, was that the painting of the water tower?
Yep, so this is the retainage on that project, and so it was successfully completed, and so we hold back 5% of the project cost.
Okay.
And the permits on the DEQ, which was the one that we're still sending information on?
The $1,200 one.
Okay.
Stormwater. But those are annual permits and budgeted for.
I don't know, is there a new snow removal amount? Did we have any claims on snow removal?
Yeah, there was one in there.
There's two.
Two.
So now we're up to like 430.
Oh, it's a $500,000.
Yeah, just $500,000.
We'll just round up.
I would say, 428, somewhere in there.
So,
Okay.
when does the contracted snow removal actually stop? Because I just saw one out recently and things are clear.
Today.
So we don't have any contracted employees.
Okay.
So we ceased ours, a couple of weeks ago probably, after the big slush removal. Now there are parking lots and private people that pay the same contractors we did to remove their
Got
snow.
it. So that one may have been just doing some private work. Okay.
And we got a lot of comments and stuff, even in our snow policy meeting, as far as piling of snow and stuff, because you can't really tell where it came from, who they're hauling for, things like that.
Some potential misperceptions about where the city was putting snow versus private contractors.
Yep.
I would imagine.
I mean, even I myself was like, oh.
No, we're not.
Okay. Just making sure.
The same day we're sweeping the streets.
Yeah. I'll move that we approve acknowledge the claims that have been paid from March 1st to March 13th of this year.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Commissioner Day, seconded by Commissioner Rubes. All those in favor, please raise your right hand and you say aye.
Aye.
Okay, regular agenda, discussion and action on approving entering into a one-year maintenance contract with Lumen for
So
the
that's, I pulled this up too, so we can
Yeah.
see it.
911 phone system in the amount of $17,220.
And so we have a 911 phone system that actually integrates into their computers. And so in dispatch, we have 3 workstations. We have 4 just in. We have the ability to transfer calls out there if we're overwhelmed or if our stuff goes down. We can also staff that. And JB County has a dispatch from like 8 to 5. So they don't require 24/7 service, just kind of holidays. And so we do have a separate station out there. And so that's what we're covering. I was told this will probably be the last maintenance contract for this phone system. The state is trying to get grant funding to install phone systems. There's like, I think 10 or 13 PSAPs, all across the state. And so they would pay to install it. That way they get the consistency and better pricing. And then I would assume and have to do the maintenance. So maintenance, this is slightly more than the previous years. It should be noted that we just got this. Again, we have a longtime employee that's retiring. Dorothy Grumo has been our dispatch supervisor and coordinator for a long, long time. And so I knew that we had not renewed this, and so I was very specific that I wanted this in place before she left. They would always honor us and stuff, regardless of a contract or not. But I wanted to make sure there was nothing hanging out there. And so this actually started in October of last year.
Alrighty,
I move that we approve entering into a one-year maintenance contract with Lumen for the 911 phone system.
Second?
it's been moved by Commissioner Rubes and seconded by, Commissioner Speaka. So for this one-year maintenance, are we looking at having to budget and redo a whole new phone system?
I have been told it would be included in the grant. And so our phone system, the 911 side also is like the phones in our offices. And so that would also be included, is what verbally I have been told at this point.
And is this something that's already been budgeted? This,
So,
Or does it come out? Any other comments from commissioners?
Anybody watch Severance?
What did she say?
Anybody watch Severance? The evil company.
Lumen is the evil company. So, yeah, you should have, when you seconded it, you should say second.
Dun, dun, dun.
Any comments from the public?
Yeah, I have a question, okay, I was mentioning something about that the, had a part-time local and do it in Basin County. And it was, what about Petroleum, Petroleum County or what?
we do take care of them, but we provide 24/7. They have no employees out there.
They don't have anybody out there, okay.
Thank you.
Why did I keep losing?
Roll call vote.
We are entering into a one-year maintenance contract with Lumen for the 911 phone system in the amount of $17,220.36. Commissioner Bueller,
aye.
Commissioner Day,
Aye.
Commissioner Hewitt,
Aye.
Commissioner Rubes,
Aye.
Commissioner Robertson,
Aye.
Commissioner Speaka,
Aye.
Commissioner Terry.
Aye. Okay, discussion and action on approving the purchase of a Vaughn chopper pump for the wastewater treatment plant in the amount of, I don't wanna know what it does. I don't. For the amount of $241,174.71.
Yeah, that's outrageous.
This is
Good.
proprietary pumps, at the wastewater plant. Again, we maintain them, and as part of our maintenance program, we try and cycle through and purchase new. So we have 3 pumps. This is one new one. The other 2 will be, just do their, for, it is super. And we do have funding for this.
Is this the funding for this on the, that grant?
This
This is
just
just
in
on
the
maintenance,
operation.
on maintenance
Regular
operation.
maintenance.
I move we approve the purchase of a Vaughn chopper pump for the wastewater treatment plant in the amount of $24,174.71.
I'll second.
Thanks, Rob. So it's been moved by Commissioner Rubes, seconded by Commissioner Day. Is there any other discussion on this, commissioners?
Really quickly, I saw in the bid package that there was only one vendor identified. Is that because we only got one, or
Yes.
is there only one that actually does this?
In the state,
Okay.
there's one certified supplier, basically.
Yeah, so the bid process, we were not able to follow that.
So we have quotes for repairs and replacement,
Sure,
but it's all from the same vendor.
okay. I noticed the shipping was $1,100, that's a lot of money.
Did somebody go down to
Yeah.
Belgrade?
No, I'm sure they're just a broker, it's gonna come from,
No, I think they do the work there, so we often will drive it down there, if we can, but to get parts and things like that delivered, even there, will cost, I mean, they put that cost back on the customer.
How big is it? Is it big?
It's about half the size of this table, but you know, all metal, all stainless steel, several hundred pounds.
Do they install it?
well, that's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money.
Do they want to install it?
Who installs it?
So our staff installs it, typically,
Do
you
they
know,
have the
all,
skills to install
Oh,
it?
yeah.
Are they good?
yeah,
Okay.
and the equipment and stuff necessary. Sometimes, we will have to get an electrician to wire them, but typically they'll have a detail or something like that that can be.
So Mike and Ernie, they'll take the old one out and then put the new one in?
Correct.
Now, what do they do with the old one?
Typically, if we completely, replace it, they are beyond their usable life.
Okay.
So it
Scrap?
makes holes and things like that, yeah.
They'll put in new bearings.
We do that as much as possible, yep.
Pete doesn't wanna put on a chopper, so.
Just imagine what goes through that.
All right.
Any other comments? Any other comments from the public?
Ready? Yeah. Okay. We are approving the purchase of the Vaughn chopper pump for the treatment plant in the amount of $24,174.71. Commissioner Bueller,
Aye.
Commissioner Day,
Aye.
Commissioner Hewitt,
Aye.
Commissioner Rubes,
Aye.
Commissioner Robertson,
Aye.
Commissioner Speaka,
Aye.
Commissioner Terry.
Aye. Discussion and action on resolution number 4190, a resolution authorizing the sale of Motorola radios from the Lewistown Police Department.
So as you all may recall, we replaced our old radios with new, 800 megahertz radios about a year ago. Several of them with the Public Works Department. The police department has these, that are surplus, and they would like to advertise and solicit bids, from them. There's other agencies, around the state or locally, that could still use them. A lot of times it's for reserves or other things. I know the fire department was working to get them out to the rural fire districts, and things like that.
We've already distributed some within our public works and so forth.
I'll move that yeah, go ahead. I move that we approve the
Sale.
resolution authorizing the sale of Motorola radios from the Lewistown Police Department.
Second.
I am so sorry.
Did you say Motorola?
I don't know what I said. Metal in my mouth.
She got there.
When I was talking to Steve Fanning about our next, line item there, he said that some of these were going to the road and bridge guys with the, cause they didn't really have, with the county, cause they didn't really have a way during any sort of emergency to contact one another and be on the same channels as dispatch. So this is a really good, like,
Right.
recycling
That's
thing,
what I think of, like a Hillsborough Rural Fire
Yep.
Department, places
And-
like that,
so
might be able to use them.
they work better than they do in downtown Lewistown. Remember when we did that tour?
Yeah, it's
And-
mostly the buildings and stuff that we, you know,
By law, when they have to make this public, they have to sell to the highest.
sealed bidder.
Okay.
So with government surplus, we have to create a resolution?
We can't just sell.
even if we follow process and procedure?
That is the process and procedure.
Is to create a resolution.
Correct.
Okey dokey.
Why is the resolution?
State law.
The law says.
The law says.
Can't fight the law.
Yeah, the school does it too.
Should that have been in my motion?
Queen law has a resolution
Resolution,
every
no, that
time.
doesn't have to be.
That's true.
Or do they do just like,
But they do the same thing.
They can do an auction.
but yeah, if they do an open auction or a public sale,
Yep, it's all listed and they even do printers and calculators and.
but do they do a resolution with each of those?
Well.
I
they
thought it
do
was just
as-
a public
They
notice.
do it as a whole resolution. And then I'll do this as a public notice. That's the next step,
Uh-huh.
the public notice.
Heidi, for the
Oh, yeah, Mel and I just do those meetings too.
Yeah, I was just saying the school has more exciting items to sell.
Yeah, I would agree with Will.
Man.
We want exciting items.
Any other discussion from commissioners? Any other things to add, public? All right.
You're approving resolution number 4190. Commissioner Bueller,
Aye.
Commissioner Day,
Aye.
Commissioner Hewitt,
Aye.
Rubes,
Aye.
Commissioner Robertson,
Aye.
Commissioner Speaka,
Aye.
Commissioner Terry.
Aye. Okay, discussion on declaring a local emergency or disaster. Do you wanna start off, or?
either one, yeah.
I can just tell you guys what, on this a little bit. So, cause we talked about doing it, but kind of found out, Holly and I, we talked to Steve Fanning, and then they were at a conference and they had learned some more information from the state. It's really good for us right now to just look at this process and how this happens. But we might, and Holly and I have talked, she thought that maybe declaring an emergency is the way to go with the snow event on January 10th. However, at this time, we probably won't get any money from the state, and there's two reasons for that. One, because Governor Gianforte did say that there was no loss of life and there was no property damage, like infrastructure. So, it's not the type of disaster that would qualify for this kind of state funding.
Yeah.
However, let's say something did happen and,
Like one roof collapsed.
yeah, let's say one roof collapsed and we, still declared an emergency. Because we came into ICS, the Incident Command System, basically that meeting after the storm, and we approved that, the Incident Command System, we came in just a little late because what we needed was to have like documentation in order to get those funds, and and it's of course time consuming, and it just wasn't in place for either the county guys or for the city people. And I just forwarded it to you, what the county has in place now, but they have to literally, it's kind of like a police officer thing, you know, where you write down like an incident that has happened. They say they're like, I moved the snow on Juno, took me 4 hours. So we would need that from both contractors and from city employees. So those are the types of things we have to turn in and say, we did,
Documentation.
yeah, 1 million hours of snow removal, and that's why we need this money. So we were just a little bit behind on that. Also with the fact that Gianforte is not going to say it's a state emergency. However, we could still declare an emergency as kind of like, and do the paperwork and do the declaration and do the, just as kind of a
Learning.
yeah, a learning process, and just kind of go through it, see what, you know, as a commission and as a city, but we really won't be able to lean on any of that funding, which is super, super unfortunate. But those are kind of the two reasons, and the county as well, because they weren't quite in place with this, are also not going to look for funding, but they were not hit quite as hard as we were hit. As far as, you know, removing snow and keeping things free. So a lot of learning went on in this, and like Tim had talked about in your committee, you know, just trying to, an after effect, you know, just trying to learn what it is, but it looks like the state money is not gonna be available.
So, question then, so declaring an emergency would collect mills.
Could collect, so you would declare an emergency, and then you would have to do a levy.
It'd be two
Point,
separate.
is there, declaring an emergency at this point really functionally, if we're not looking to recover mills and get help from the state, is it all for naught? Should we just park this on the curb at this point, move on, and be ready next time?
I mean, that's why we're here.
Yeah, that's definitely an option. I mean, we don't have to take any action on this, but, to declare the emergency, we would have to have Tyler put together something. And then,
So the purpose of declaring the emergency would be the experience of
I think so,
documenting
but
the
also,
topic,
like,
also.
it could just be, well, I mean, it could be excessive government, blah, 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 as well.
Seems like our staff has enough to do.
Yeah. Do you wanna talk about the gas tax, though?
Yes,
Like,
so I did circulate, and I don't know that, if I did that one down where I put it, oh, one, Missy stole it, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So some of the money, and one of the provisions, and it's from guidance from DES at the state level, says, that basically by declaring a emergency, that you also didn't anticipate expending the funds and didn't have an appropriation of funding up to that amount. And for us, that was not the case because we had gas tax. And so this is the statute on gas tax. And they, again, the fuel gas tax is paid at the pump. It's distributed by set percentages in statute. And so there is a small portion of it that goes to local governments for the following. And so it's for construction, maintenance, and repair of rural or city and town alleys, streets, and bridges. So everything that we do basically on the street is appropriate funding for that. It has to stay in this fund, as well as the interest. And so that's how we've been accounting for it, so. And I think, I don't know what the budget, what that account fund is. Currently, I would guess it's still over 700,000.
one of those accounts you have
money
to
coming
budget.
out.
Like when we budget, you know how you have to budget half of an account, like the library trust fund or whatever, is that one of those?
That one we budget 100%
Oh.
every time because of the project.
So that's already budgeted 100.
So lucky for us, we have this fund.
Correct.
However, we're gonna
Hit it hard.
use a lot of it.
Well, and that, I mean, I don't have the exact amount in front of me, but it was 312,000 some odd change, is what our annual appropriation had been. It's an estimate, it's based on the actual consumption, from the quarters before, but that's been pretty consistently accurate.
So that comes in each year.
Comes in each quarter.
No, I get a monthly payment.
312,000?
No, my annual payment is $300.
You have $300,000 a month? Dang.
But they send it to us on a monthly basis.
Oh,
A portion of it.
Okay, okay.
yeah, I was like, what are we doing?
We're to fix every road. So that is what came in as revenue, estimated in the past couple of years. Yeah. Not every.
For
see in the letter to the one letter to the editor, how much they would enjoy being taxed. And just to, I mean, I feel like this is very,
I think
and I'm glad that she was able to, you know, voice her concerns in the newspaper. However, we were just talking about the process, we weren't actually saying that we were going to do it.
Maybe a point of interest related to that. In the snow removal committee, we had a long discussion about the different means of attacking that would kind of address that citizen's concern that wrote into the paper about not having anything done on their street. And that would be, we're talking about the idea in one of those plans that at the beginning of any forecasted large storm, trucks or all of our trucks hit the streets early and just plow down the center of every single street in town. This would cause berms.
Oh, yeah.
But it would provide a driving lane in every neighborhood for everyone. They would have to shovel, they'd have to deal with these berms, but it would provide a good driving lane regardless of how much snow we, almost in any case, we continue to get. And that was one of the big pieces of feedback we got, we talked about in this meeting, was the storm got ahead of the crews, which the storm hit on a Thursday night, Friday, and then built, and it was kind of over by Sunday afternoon. But there were the crews were behind the curve because we didn't have a policy of hitting every street in town all the time. That would have buried a lot of cars. But at least if you get your car unburied, you would have had transportation means around town. So that may be a big change related to that would address the concerns of this one editorial.
And that would not have to address need.
That's another topic we talked at length about. I'm not gonna go into
the
that
level of
right now,
service
but
and some of
Yep.
that could
yeah,
change.
level of service, enforcement, carry through in the court, and so forth.
Yep.
But I'm just addressing this letter to the editor about, don't, you know, add insult to injury.
Oh, Tim, I don't think you're using.
I mean, she hit on a lot of points here, this little. So.
Well, I think that all of us, I mean, that was one person that wrote into the newspaper, but all of us would get a handful of people, or maybe already had a handful of those same type of conversations.
So, moving forward. Just,
Not hearing a motion to do
yeah,
anything.
not hearing a motion to do anything, moving forward.
I think we, again, which, Steve Fanning did say that they have this great form and it's, simple enough that the guys can use it and it'll provide the documentation. So, we're gonna be more prepared for sure, in the future, and everybody's on the same page and speaking the same language. Our policy changes that we're discussing, I think will help, but I don't know that it raises.
Yeah,
any
and so,
further
and
conversation
also
here.
like, just, if we put together this, like, looking forward, and let's say it really does flood, like, it would be something that you could send out, you know, right away, we're starting to look like, oh my gosh, we've got this, and this, and then the guys are actually writing down what they're doing and where they're at, and, you know, those types of things.
Would you like a motion in order to settle this issue? And
I don't know if we need one, I mean, we
Well, the
just,
motion-
Discussion.
Okay.
unless you
Well,
have,
the motion would be that we not declare a local emergency related to the most recent spate of storms.
Yeah.
I'll second.
Well, now you just have it in the,
Yeah.
you can follow through if you like.
yeah,
We able to vote aye, yea, or nay?
yeah,
Okay,
all right, so,
I wasn't prepared, I'm sorry.
would you just say that
The
again?
motion was to not declare a local emergency related to the winter storms that contributes to our budget problem.
Point of clarification, is the Robert Rules of Order that I've got, you cannot make a negative motion. You make a positive motion and defeat it. But I don't think we're there yet,
Well,
until we get that training.
side note, it's just a discussion item.
Okay.
So what would you like me to do, Chairman?
But I believe that, you know, we are asked to approve or not approve. I mean, not, if we were to not approve something, that's a negative motion, so I feel like, right?
Prove it, it just falls for lack of a positive affirmative vote.
Well, I would love to vote on that motion.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right.
Okay, so
Could
you're
you
gonna
say it
have-
again, please?
Yes, please. Not declare a local emergency related to,
The storm of January 10th,
thank you.
Perfect. And you say,
2025.
and you're okay to second
Yeah,
that?
I'm still good to second.
Big day, snowmageddon.
All right.
Okay,
Motion is been moved by Commissioner Robertson, seconded by Commissioner Day. Is there any comments, other comments from the commissioners? Discussion from the commissioners?
so an affirmative vote would not declare an emergency.
Correct.
Well, it would make the decision by the board. We're not going to
Choosing
declare
not
it.
to.
We're choosing not to do that.
For this particular storm.
As my name was at the beginning of the alphabet, I wanted to
Make sure we're,
was voting what I actually was thinking.
any comments from the public?
Yeah, the comment that I would have is like, here we, file too late for the, no comment, is that what you're saying?
We're not gonna file an emergency, we're not gonna declare an emergency. Yeah, a lot of factors.
And also because of all the things that we're not entitled to.
Right.
No benefit.
Like, nothing can really come of it if we even did.
All right, roll call vote, let's do it.
Commissioner Bueller,
Aye.
Commissioner Day,
Aye.
Commissioner Hewitt,
Aye.
Commissioner Rubes,
You're not gonna do it.
Aye.
Oh.
Commissioner Robertson,
Aye.
Commissioner Speaka,
Aye.
Commissioner Terry.
Aye. Okay, citizens' requests. Commissioner's minute, Commissioner Bueller,
I have no minutes.
Commissioner Speaka.
No minutes.
Two.
Great, 2 minutes, do it.
So my first one is just that I want clarification on what happened at our last meeting, because we spent a lot of time in our meeting having a public hearing regarding the variant for the Whitneys to have their small animal clinic. And I was informed, and we spent a lot of time making a motion on it and hearing information on it. I was told that that was not going to go, but that it was required by law that we continue this, what have you, but this clinic is not going forward.
I believe there was issues with the sale of it, and so I don't believe that their end result will be moving there. But yes, they submitted an application and never withdrew it, so we
Okay.
have to move forward.
What it was communicated to me is that they tried to withdraw it before it came before the commission, but they were told that it couldn't be withdrawn.
I'm not aware of that. I mean,
Okay,
they didn't speak to me.
okay. So I was just wondering, from a commission standpoint, was that pushed because that ordinance goes with the property and not the owners?
I don't think it matters.
Okay, so if a new owner were to move into that building, just for an example, would they still have that variance?
If they so
If they-
chose,
If they-
yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't the variance go to the name? Did it go to Whitney?
No,
Not
that's,
that
not
specific
this
one.
That
It was
one
tied to the property.
was
For
permanently
a
tied
small
to the
animal
property.
clinic, in addition to what would be outright allowed.
So now that it's been approved, I understand your concern,
Yeah,
so now that it's been
spent a lot of time on
approved, that does?
No, they'd still have their, what was it, an M1 or something zoning originally, so they'd still be able to do what allowed outright zoning.
But now they can
One
also
more.
run a small animal clinic.
But
If they elect it.
the city was not aware that that was not
Not
going
till
forward.
very, very end,
Okay,
and it may have been, I mean, again, a public hearing is at least notice, so, when that fell through, I'm not certain,
okay.
because I only knew about it, I think it was Diana that told me. And it was really close to when it was at the planning board level.
Okay.
Or maybe it was one of the board members there had heard from
So I
them.
guess I'm still confused, because it was announced as a public hearing, we still had to hear
Yes.
on that? Okay, even though we knew that it wasn't going to, the sale wasn't going to go through.
Correct. And I mean, they could have worked through the process. I
Yeah,
mean, I don't know.
they didn't, okay. Interesting, I was just curious, like, what
Well, I'm
policies.
glad you brought it up, because I had no idea anything.
I did not know
It's
that.
interesting to know those on variances.
And then my number two is, I just wanted to say thank you for the support of the community for the grand opening that we had last Saturday. Holly came and did a really fabulous.
Did you have the big
touching-
scissors?
Yeah, the big scissors
Natalie and
that
I
we used to use, yep, Natalie and Holly cut the ribbon, and it's exciting to have a new shop downtown.
Main Street, it's
so.
next to the movie theater.
So thank you. It was pretty fun to see our city have like an official grand opening and an official ribbon cutting ceremony.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all I have.
Thank you. Commissioner Rubes, do you have a minute?
I do have. I apologize, Commissioner Robertson, for missing that meeting on Thursday that I read about Sunday night. I think the email was sent out plenty of time, I just didn't check my city. And I will try my very best to do that way more often. So, I'll be at the next. Not a problem. Thank you.
Commissioner Hewitt, do you have,
I have no minutes,
thank you,
no nothing.
thank you. Okay, the only minute I have was, I will be gone April 21st, which is the second meeting in April, and Lorraine will be running that, but I think you're gonna be gone the first meeting in April, so. Anyway, just to kind of, and then did anybody wanna, this parking ordinance, is there anything you wanted to say on this letter to the editor?
Just that, I mean, those are more of the challenges we're looking at with the snow policy and ordinance changes. But those are things that we're working.
Yeah. So, Lorraine just reminded me that we should probably do like, another one of our ordinance meetings so that, and have Tyler bring those. Because.
A good idea.
Parking one, we have,
Two dogs
and the two dog ones, yeah.
drafting.
And soon we're hitting campers allowed on the city streets season, and I know a lot of people are upset about that.
When you get back from where you're at, if you would check in with Tyler, and we can arrange a meeting to look at those three before. Cause April 1st, is that when? Campers out, or May 1st? All right, and there's gonna need to be a little public education on that new ordinance, so.
The new what order?
The one with the campers where we were gonna park, or charge them more. And they couldn't All right, is there anything else?
Can you talk about that for a second, more about that ordinance?
Well, we had met, while we were working on we talked about the camper ordinance. And I can't remember exactly everything that Tyler was putting together, our city attorney. But we were gonna change that ordinance because, right now, campers and trailers, from April 1st to
October.
Through October, so October 31st, November 1st. They can be parked on the street, but they have have to be moved every 5
No.
days.
Used to be 2 weeks.
No,
every
5 days.
5 days.
Is the current.
But it hasn't been enforced very well. It's not something that, again, just trying to enforce it, and it's not something that is a large ticket. As of right now, everything's being dismissed anyway. And so we were looking at increasing the fines on that. That the trailers couldn't be left there, like they had to be hooked to a vehicle.
Not
Like you
permanently
couldn't like
placed.
park your trailer there for 3 weeks, you would get. So
Yeah,
there
you do
was
that.
little things that we're trying to add in there to put more teeth in that ordinance.
I was under the impression that he was going to do like a proposal of what that would look like and then bring it to the commission so that we could
Bring
all
it back
weigh in.
to our committee
Bring it back to the
first.
committee.
Committee
Yes.
first, okay.
The reason I ask is that it's relevant to the discussion on stone
Mhm.
policy.
It is, it's very,
And I don't think one should go forward without a discussion of the whole thing. And then the other piece of it is, if these minor misdemeanor style tickets, whatever you wanna call them, are being dismissed anyway, I don't see a point in
You
it.
can't understand him.
So I think there's a much, much, much bigger element with it.
well, right now it's only $5, right? So if we up them,
But the point is, the city, when I asked Chief Janice about why they don't write tickets to cars parked in snow emergency routes, it's that they don't get enforced. So they gave up. The city police department's essentially given up writing minor tickets in city rules. That's what I was told.
no, and
in that public
that's
meeting
what had
by the
happened.
police chief. And I think we need to get to the bottom of what is city commission and make a decision about, if we're gonna put ordinances in place, they need to be enforced.
So
What does that mean? How do we get
Well,
this
it's not
enforced?
code enforcement if they're.
And who you have in the room talking about that.
They're getting to justice court. And they're saying, forget it.
You're kind of punishing the people who pay it then if everybody else just gets away with it dismissed.
Which I'm sure there's a good reason for it. But then maybe we have a different issue we need to help.
And that was,
Maybe there's not enough workforce in the courts. We need to address.
So that was
I'm not
something
accusing
that
the
we
court.
were going to explore.
Yeah, we're gonna explore that. I'm not trying to throw that out as a public
but that has,
discussion
this
point.
has come up before. This is not, like, you're not the first time. This is, when we're talking about parking a year ago.
Yep.
This came up.
My point is, I don't think the city commissioner should work on those topics if there's a root cause of that not going, or if there's a bigger issue, then let's deal with the issue at hand, which apparently is not enough health in the court, not enough manpower force in the court. Let's deal with that first, so that we have a way to enforce the codes. So I'm not criticizing the courts, I'm saying if there's an issue, we need to address it.
The camper has to go, or we will tow.
We have a total camper goes in, so, yeah.
Yeah.
I can say as,
Good point.
as an attorney, I think, the judge we have is one of the better judges in Montana for a lower court.
Yeah, I'm not throwing shade at the
By
judge.
far, and I don't think he would dismiss it without a reason, so I would be interested to know what percentage of tickets are just being dismissed, or if he's dismissing a handful.
I reviewed
What
that.
the statistics were. I think Commissioner Robinson brings up a really good point, we get to the root of what actually is happening. Do they need more staff, or is there another issue?
Or is there a perception that they're all dismissed and they're not all dismissed?
Yeah.
What is it? Maybe there isn't an issue in the courts, maybe the issue is a perception that the police department has of the court. I don't know.
I know some jurisdictions, those lower court judges fly by the seat of their pants, don't follow the rules. This is not one of them.
Yeah, it's my history with the judge.
I think there might be different issues.
But I don't think we should spend a whole bunch of time at the commission here putting in place more rules if the rules we have aren't being enforced. Or can't be.
Good point. Any other comments? All right. Anything else for the good of the order? We are adjourned.